Hello and welcome to episode 107 of the Pixel Street Podcast, where each and every week we get together to talk about one of our favorite things, and that's video games. Today, I am your host, Connor Kopp, and I'm also joined by the one and only man who is incapable of growing any hair on his head, John Hansen.
It's kind of coming back. I just keep cutting it off.
I don't have a magnifying glass small enough to see it, so
Yeah,
I'm going to say it
fine.
doesn't qualify.
You know what? With the receding hairline I have, I don't even care anymore.
That's just accept it, move on with your life. There's no reason to stress over it.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
You said it. Well, this week we're going to be discussing quite a few different things. We'll be talking about the new Call of Duty, with a terribly long name, Control, giving an answer on things that are out of their control, and Rocksteady's Toxic Workplace, as well as Burger King. You didn't expect that one coming. But before we get to that, let's do some housekeeping. First, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street Podcast or on Facebook, where our show goes live every Friday on your podcast platform of choice. And now you can become a Pixel Street pal by joining a brand new Discord server that we just launched. We would love for you to come hang out with us. We've got a channel where you can promote all the things that you're working on, things that you love. We even have a channel for dog pictures. I mean, who doesn't want to be a part of a Discord with a freaking server for dog pictures?
Show us your doggos.
It's the only thing that I ever wanted in life. Thanks, Mom. Check out the pinned tweet on our Twitter to join other gamers like yourself and join our growing community. And on top of that, we have an exciting announcement today. John, would you like to key the people into the other new thing we got going on?
All right. So today we launched a brand new YouTube channel. It's called Pixel Street Vids. You can go to our Twitter at Pixel Street Pod or join our Discord, like Connor was saying, to find a link to go straight there and subscribe. It's a little empty right now. All that's there is a playlist of our older video podcasts. But going forward, all of our new video podcasts will be uploaded straight to there. And also, we are planning on doing some unique content, gameplays, news videos, list videos is what I really want to do for it. So very excited to get to work on that. Hopefully within a week or two here, I'll have some planning on what our first unique content will be for there. But regardless, we're very excited to get along with that. Also, we have a very big announcement for our next show, this upcoming week. We're not quite ready to announce it yet. We'll announce it this Sunday, so definitely be sure to pay attention to our Twitter on Sunday for that. Something we are very jazzed about.
And that was this week's announcement of a forthcoming announcement by John Hansen.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting times. No, I'm very stoked for the stuff that we have upcoming. Please, 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 please check us out next week. You're definitely not going to want to miss this. Follow our Twitter or Facebook. We're going to be announcing that here pretty soon.
Yep. One final announcement, because this is our second time recording, and I've almost forgot this the first time. This Friday, the day that you are listening to this, we are doing our first ever Pixel Street Pal Party Night on Xbox One for Halo the Master Chief Collection. PC doesn't have crossplay yet, so we can't play there yet. But we're going to have a custom game night. So I've already went out and downloaded a bunch of different games and maps and everything. Bring your friends. Anyone is welcome to come. Don't be a shitty person. I'll fucking boot you. But we're going to have a fucking good time. We're just going to have a fun time. So come join the party.
If you join our Halo custom server and you're a dick, you're going to get killjoyed every time. It's just going to happen.
Absolutely.
We're going to ruin your life, and that's all that's going to happen. No, very exciting stuff. I can't wait to play with some of you and hang out. Definitely look out for the link on that. I know John's going to share some information with how you can join us tomorrow and play a little Halo. Hopefully Warthog Sliders is a part of that. So
absolutely.
I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk about that at some point. But let's move into the next part, and that is what we are playing. My list is pretty short this week, so I don't have a ton of things to talk about. But John, you've been playing a title that's pretty near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorites of all time. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, if you are watching the video portion of our podcast, you can see in the background I have my Twitch stream from Psychonauts up. I played the first 2 hours and streamed it on my Twitch, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I've said this a bunch in the past. I am a huge 3D platformer fan. I never had an original Xbox, so this one missed me. So very excited to get to work on it. I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's a little outdated in some areas, but I mean, for an original Xbox game in 2020, it looks great running on my Xbox One X. Uh, there's been a couple points in it that have made me laugh, and I think it's just fun. I keep saying we need more 3D platformers, so I'm definitely down with this, and it's definitely getting me excited for Psychonauts 2.
Double Fine has done some of my favorite like underground games over the past couple of decades. I mean,
Yeah,
you've
you're.
got obviously Grim Fandango, of course.
That's
You've
another one I
got
really want to try out.
right, very popular. Psychonauts, of course. Brutal Legend, which people seem very back and forth on, but for what it was, I think it's very enjoyable. They've also worked on a plethora of other titles too. I mean, we were just looking a little bit ago at some of the other things that they've worked on, and you found out that they're working on Massive Chalice,
Yeah.
which was a pretty surprising one. And they also published Gang Beast, which is another, you know, kind of awesome cutesy indie game, I suppose. So just great stuff being pumped out of Double Fine. And before, when we were talking, one of the cool things about them working on Psychonauts 2 and being acquired by Microsoft is the fact that them being an independent studio, they had to do a lot of budget cuts and kind of rein things in a little bit in terms of the scale and scope of what they were working on. But with the Microsoft acquisition and the funding coming from that, they're able to kind of like really achieve, or at least work towards achieving the scale that was originally envisioned for the sequel. So I'm super stoked to see what comes out of it. And honestly, I'm really excited to see your thoughts as you get a little bit later in this game. It's got some very wacky, zany, hilarious comedy in some of these later sections, and I'm particularly interested in your thoughts on the milk. We'll come back to that one a little bit later. So,
Okay.
anything else that's on your radar, John? You playing anything else? Doing anything else recently?
You know, I'm playing a lot of stuff like I normally do, but Psychonauts is definitely the one that sticks out the most. So you can go ahead.
Right on. Yeah. Well, that's kind of my play too. Not doing a whole lot of stuff. Kind of been working on some other projects around the house. The wife's been bugging me to get some things done here recently, so that's kind of been preoccupying my time. But I have jumped back into Modern Warfare a little bit. Me and the friends kind of jumped in, played a little bit of multiplayer, and surprise, surprise, the game's still good. It's honestly still one of my favorite Call of Duties over the past couple of years. It's just very fluid. It feels good. It feels satisfying to play. I do have a couple gripes with it though, so allow me to bitch for a minute about Call of Duty.
I'm
Why?
pretty sure you're the only person on the internet to do that.
Yeah, definitely. No, nobody's ever complained about Call of Duty in
Never.
their entire life, ever. Only me.
Yeah.
It's um, why on earth was the most recent patch size 66 gigabytes? And we're not talking about an update here. We're not talking about a big content update. We're not talking about a new season. Like, we're talking about a patch for some of the issues that dropped with season 5. And it was 66 gigabytes on the Xbox One. John, you work at Activision. Why? Tell me why.
Because we are in cohorts with the electric companies. We want you to use up your data cap. We get a portion of that money. Honestly, I have no
You've heard it
idea.
here first, folks. Activision is cahoots with DTE or Consumers Energy or whatever your provider is. They know.
Yeah.
They're aware.
We are
And they're
there.
nickel and diming you. It's the new microtransaction power bill. That's what it is.
In all honesty, I have no idea. This has been a thing that Modern Warfare has been very. This has been like the most criticized thing about the game, probably since Warzone released. It's been a pretty constant thing. Yeah, I don't. What even was in the new patch? Like, was it just bug fixes?
Yeah, it was literally, I mean, I didn't roll through the patch notes, but most of it was just bug fixes to textures that they'd broken with the most recent update. And I guess in contrast, the important thing to add to this is that the update on PlayStation was like 2 gigabytes. I mean, we're not talking about a huge size there. I mean, sure, there's probably a different protocol for how it's installing or downloading or whatever it is, but either way, it just I really am disappointed by it every single time, because this Call of Duty could have absolutely been hands down de facto best Call of Duty of all time if it was not plagued by these issues constantly, because it's like every other week you've got to download basically the whole game again. It's absurd.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous. Well, that's the thing. That's like half of the original size, which is insane on its own.
It's stupid. I hate it. So to digress from that, I will say that like it's still a great game. It still plays super fluidly, and I'm enjoying my time with it when I'm not updating it. But also, man, is that game plagued with microtransactions? Like,
Yeah.
there are a million different cosmetic packs and operators, and they're not cheap either. Like you've got to spend some money to unlock this stuff, which honestly just doesn't feel great because I'm a completionist. I like completing my stuff and having everything, and I can't do that in Call of Duty without being broke.
Yeah, right.
So
I
that's
will
not an option.
okay, I'm looking up reasons for the Xbox thing now. All right, today's update addresses a few bugs, but primarily fixes the issues of weapon models corrupting on screen, making it difficult to play. We appreciate everyone in the community for their bug reporting and all the details you sent us regarding this issue. So thank you again for your support and for your patience while we work to resolve this issue. Due to an unforeseen bug with the Microsoft patch delivery process, this download requires Xbox users to re-download files they already have, but it does not impact the overall install size. We're working closely with Microsoft to ensure future updates are smaller in size. So, yeah. So overall, it was about a 2 gig patch, because I have the whole entire list right here, and it's like that big. It's not a lot, but they just fucked something up in the patch service, whatever you want to call it. I'm not a developer. That just fucked up a bunch of files, I guess, on Xbox side. That's so weird.
That's what it may not have been as bad if this was like a one-time occurrence, but man, it just I'm so sick.
Yeah, add that on top of all the other updates, and it adds up.
Like I'm gonna hit my data cap if I keep playing this stupid game, man. For my ISP, and I technically have unlimited internet.
Yeah, right.
It's just ridiculous. So yeah, Call of Duty, it's good. We'll talk more about Call of Duty here in just a second. But yeah, Modern Warfare, so. That's gonna wrap up what we're playing, what we're doing. Unless John, you have anything else to add?
More Overwatch, man. You need to play with us, Connor.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'll do it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're gonna after we stop this podcast, we're gonna play for 12 hours straight.
All right. All right. I'll fucking keep you to
that. So yeah, let's move into the news section. So this first one. John, do you want to kick this off since I'll probably have some thoughts about it?
All right, so yeah, there's not really an article to go along with this, but Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was officially confirmed. We've known about the name for a while. I want to say back in June, a Doritos bag was leaked with the logo and everything, so we've known about the name for a while. But regardless, it's pretty much the worst kept secret in video games, one of them at least. That
there's a lot of them recently.
Yeah, there is a lot. Treyarch's making a new Call of Duty again a year early. It
the
has
Batman
to do with
Court of
Black
Owl
Ops.
game.
Yeah, it's all there. But yeah, so it's Black Ops Cold War. It's supposed to be based on real events and everything, and I think I saw that it takes place in the 80s. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't see a specific time.
I thought I saw 60
trailer.
80s. I did not.
Watch the teaser trailer?
I did not.
You should go check that out. It's much darker in tonality than the past couple of games have been, which I think is an interesting choice for the year that we're having, unfortunately. But it's probably about 2 minutes long, and it really just seems to do a lot of world building and setting up that this is based on a lot of actual events and things that happened during the Cold War. Cold War. That word is really hard, apparently. And it seems to be kind of almost taking an espionage twist on a lot of the Cold War formats. So I think the release date on that's what, the 26th, 25th? They're doing a full-blown reveal? Maybe a little later, 28th?
Next week, the 26th, is the reveal for the game. We're not going to have anything on our podcast because we will be recording before that. But maybe we'll put up a little YouTube video or something as a little special thing, because that's a pretty big thing, especially after last week where we were talking about, hey, it's August and we still don't know about this Call of Duty, but they keep promising it's coming out this holiday.
Yeah. I mean, they've been kind of hinting and teasing at this for a while. There's been some stuff inside of Warzone that they've been building up and working towards. So honestly, I'm kind of just sick of the teases and reveals.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
just give it to me. Talk about it when it's ready, and we'll go from there. So be sure to be on the lookout for that next week as we get the full blown details on what the next Call of Duty is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good. What do you think this looks like? Like, do you think this replaces Modern Warfare?
Well, I
Or
mean,
like in terms of, obviously they do the yearly releases with Call
yeah.
of Duties, and they typically drop support relatively quickly
Hmm.
for the previous game. Do you think that they kind of go that route with this, or do they try to have two Call of Duties coexist?
So I think they drop it. I think Treyarch, while beginning work on their next title, who knows if that comes out next year or the year after, because the Call of Duty schedule is now, this is throwing everything off, because the Treyarch game on its usual schedule would be out next year, and this year would be Sledgehammer. I think Treyarch would focus more on Warzone, because Warzone is promised to be coming to this game. And I would think that I would hope Activision wants Treyarch to focus more on this game and have Treyarch like update uh, Warzone while they're working on Modern Warfare 2.
Sure.
Yeah, because there's already been I've been following some people on Twitter, and there's like hints and everything. There's a lot of hints at zombies coming back, which has me excited. I love Treyarch zombies, and then of course with Treyarch not working on a battle royale, they'll have their own campaign back. I would at least hope so, with this focusing more on the Cold War Black Ops era kind of thing. And then every Call of Duty has to have multiplayer. So that's already enough for them to focus on. I would think they would want to divide that other attention on Warzone to someone that has already developed that so much. Like they developed the first iteration of Warzone, whatever you want to call
So you
it.
think the go forward then is essentially Warzone from Modern Warfare, and then you have a new Call of Duty to kind of accompany it. I mean, it
Hmm.
makes sense because also, they just built that new Call of Duty engine for Modern Warfare, so I can't imagine they go back to whatever they were using before
Yeah.
for everything, and it would
Activision
be
have
pretty
also
easy to
already
integrate.
promised that Warzone will be carried into future Call
Okay,
of
cool,
Duties. So,
right on.
yeah, we already know it's going to be alongside there. I just think that Infinity Ward are going to be the ones to focus on it, not Treyarch.
Spend time on that, and then Treyarch can work on the mainline aspect of Call of Duty, multiplayer, zombies, so on and so forth. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's either way, it's another Call of Duty, it's another year, and we will see what awaits us. So,
Yeah.
uh, moving into the next story, this one's a spicy one. I'm not going to read the full article. It's got a lot going on in it.
There's a
But
lot of
we'll try
bullshit
to
in here.
yeah, we'll try to sum it up as best we can. If you listen to last week's episode, we talked a little bit about this story, and that was that Control, the game Control,
One of our
that's
favorite
published
games
by
of
505
2019.
Games, absolutely was my game of the year for 2019. Super great. It's unfortunately so. Let's take a step back here. Microsoft has been pushing for what they call smart delivery for a lot of titles, where a developer takes a current existing game that'll be compatible on the next platform and gives it some upgrades and little work under the hood or whatever to make it look better, play better, feel better on the new systems once they launch. And Microsoft has preferred the developers make this a free upgrade path. And while they don't have the ability to force anybody to do that, most developers have kind of jumped in line, as it's a very good kind of PR move to say, hey, you already bought this game, you already own this, we're just going to give a little bit of extra work and update this so that you can have the best possible experience on the new platform, and just call it good. Well, 505 steps into the ring and says absolutely not. We have a new version of Control. It's the Ultimate Edition, and we will only give you a free upgrade to the new system if you buy our Ultimate Edition. So if you already own the game or you have it digitally, or let's say you've bought everything all over again, the only way that you're going to get that upgrade is if you buy this Ultimate Edition all over again, which just really, really sucks. And we saw a lot of backlash come out. A lot of publications came out and said, this is really crappy. Like, it's totally well within their power to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But with how everybody else is being pretty cool on this, like, it just sucks that they're being so anti-consumer with this. And that leads us to present day, where 505 decided to publish on the Control website a huge FAQ talking about supposedly their reasoning behind this whole move and what it affects, who it affects, kind of explaining the whole flow chart. And boy, is it a doozy. It is something else. So John, why don't you break some of that down for us a little bit here?
All right, so they start off by saying last week, alongside information about the upcoming AWE expansion for Control, we also released information about all that stuff that we just talked about. We spent several months exploring all of our launch options for Control Ultimate Edition, and no decision was taken lightly. While it is challenging bringing any game to next-gen platforms, we quickly realized it was even more difficult to upgrade out current user base to next-gen with full parity with full parity across platforms with our year-old game. Every avenue we pursued, there was some form of blocker, and those blockers meant that at least one group of players ended up being left out of the upgrade for various reasons. As of today, we can't offer an upgrade to everyone, and leaving any one group out feels unfair. We understand that it is not what you want to hear. Understandably, there are still some questions about what this means for those that already own Control on current-gen consoles, and we hope to clear this up. So let's just cut it off right there and say, that's fucking bullshit, man. You have got to be fucking kidding me. You can't take your old version of the game and just give an upgrade to that. It's got to be the specific same version of this game that just has the DLC that was already fucking released or is about to be released. It doesn't even... The edition that can only be upgraded comes a week after this next DLC expansion. Like, no, this is fucking bullshit. You're grasping at straws here, 505.
Absolutely. They're just trying to give some bullshit reasoning as to why they did what they did, and they're hoping that it's enough to scapegoat them by, and people will stop paying attention and stop caring and just move on with their lives. And I hope people don't, because this is such a shitty move, not only to do in the first place, but to take this stance on it. Like, it's not even a good reasoning. Further in this article, it explains a few additional things, and I'll try to summarize these as easy as possible. Essentially, Control will be backwards compatible. Control will play on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. You will be able to take your copy of Control and play it on those new systems. The Ultimate Edition that's releasing will have a version for PS4 and Xbox One, as well as a version for PS5 and Xbox Series X. So if you want to buy Control Ultimate Edition or Control period on the next-gen systems when they release, you can only buy the Ultimate Edition. It's the only version that's available. Whereas the Standard Edition obviously has been out for quite some time on the other systems. They're saying that for whatever reason, they're only able to update the version of the game that's releasing instead of the one that's out that's still going to work.
The one that's going to cost $60 again. The game that you probably have already owned for at least a year, along with the season pass that you bought at launch. We just can't carry that over. But this new one, that's the same exact fucking game, this one will carry over. That's the important
part. That I think right there for me is the important delineation of this whole thing, is that they even say... let me find it here. So the question says in the FAQ, I own the Control base game and season pass. Is this not the same as Control Ultimate Edition? And their response is, the objective of Control Ultimate Edition was not to release new exclusive content on the next-gen platforms. Newsflash, that's exactly what they're doing. But to offer the full Control gameplay experience to new Control players in a single, easy-to-find product. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X versions of Control contain the same content as the current-gen game, though they do take full advantage of the power and features provided by these new consoles. Why can't these original versions that work on the new systems...
What they're literally saying, this is just them trying to find their best way to work around saying, we want you to pay for the upgrade. Because otherwise, if you're going in with just your base one, you're actually holding your console back. Because it's playing the exact same version that played on the Xbox One or the PS4. And it's
Yeah,
it's
it
such
would be a
bullshit
different
things.
story if they gave some kind of deterministic reasoning as to why the original versions are incompatible or incapable of running with these new fidelity upgrades, these new whatever the upgrades that they have planned for it are. If they had a reason and they said, look, the reason we can't do this is because of this, and whether or not people could understand that reason, that's neither here nor there. The fact is that you would be giving a legitimate reason for the thing that you're doing. Instead, they're saying, no, fuck you, buy my game again,
Mm-hmm.
and moving on with their life. And that just sucks. And my disappointment with this is the fact that, number one, I love Control. Like, the game is amazing. I own it on PC, I own it on Xbox, and I would love to play it on the next gen systems when they drop, just because I like it that much, especially with the new DLC. Unfortunately, the party that I don't like here is 505 Games, and they're
Mm-hmm.
the publisher for this. And to add to it, I mentioned it last week, but they have a 10-year exclusivity deal for the everything Control, essentially. I mean, anything related to the world of Control, anything built, books, I mean, media outside of video games, they've got their hands in it. And if this is the first steps they're going to take, man, this sucks. I don't have a lot of hope for the future of the series, and that's disappointing. So
Absolutely. It really makes me wonder because, of course, during this whole time, Remedy have been very quiet about this. I don't think I've seen them come out with any statement or anything. I really wonder how they feel about all this. Um,
you've
I
got to think that they feel pretty shitty too, because obviously this is
yeah.
so far outside of their hands. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they have no control over the control over this whatsoever. Unfortunately, and they probably feel just as frustrated with this as everybody else does. So yeah, I mean, it it's a bummer. I do want to read their conclusion statement.
Yep.
Is I think that that's an important part of this entire story. It says, in conclusion, to bring Control to next generation consoles in any form, we had to make some difficult decisions, and those came in the form of creating the simplified Control Ultimate Edition product plan we have today. That we took
Mm.
a while in responding does not mean that we have not been listening. We are sorry we couldn't meet everyone's expectations, and we hope you will continue to support Control. We thank you for your support thus far. And then they link a trailer for the Ultimate Edition at the bottom of this FAQ.
It's
So they're
fucking
basically
bullshit,
rubbing your
man.
nose in it. It is. It
They're
absolutely is. And
not
it
one bit
pisses
of
me
this,
off.
I believe. Like, this is.
Yeah.
Why are you the only ones that can't figure out how smart delivery works? Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. Ugh, it's the same
Much less
exact game.
if they did something really cool to Ultimate Edition, like for instance, Final Fantasy 15. There was the Royal Edition of that, which was effectively a game of the year, but they added a bunch of extra bosses. They added some new story content, like things that were exclusive to that edition. It sucked, but it sucked much less than this does. There was a specific reasoning as to why you needed that edition over just the standard edition that you already had. And I think they offered some kind of upgrade path too. And I think for me, if they would have offered an upgrade path, like, hey, we see it, you own Control, why don't we give you a 30% or 50% discount on this Ultimate Edition so that you can upgrade your current copy to it? You can gain the benefits. We're going to get a little bit less money from it, but we're still going to make bank from it because we're still selling you crap twice, so on and so forth. Like, that would even be a better answer than, no, you can't play with our toys unless you spend money. So I don't want to talk about this anymore. This just pisses
It's
me
making
off.
me angry too.
You
Let's talk
know,
about something else that will piss us off then.
Let's do it.
Rocksteady's toxic workplace allegations surface ahead of Suicide Squad reveal. This is from Matt T.M. Kim of IGN. Rocksteady Studios, the London-based video game developer behind the Batman Arkham series and the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, has come under fire after the revelation the company allegedly did not take action when presented with stories of sexual harassment within the company. The Guardian published a report regarding a letter signed by over half of Rocksteady's women employees back in November 2018 that claimed, among other things, of sexual harassment experienced in the workplace. The letter, signed by 10 of the company's 16 women employees at the time, raised issues about the workplace that included slurs regarding the transgendered community and discussing a woman in a derogatory or sexual manner with other colleagues, as well as unwanted advances, leering at parts of a woman's body, and inappropriate comments in the office. The Guardian's anonymous source, who signed the letter in 2018, claims the letter was kept private from the rest of the company and resulted only in a single training seminar on sexual harassment in the workplace. The source alleges Rocksteady still has issues of sexism and harassment from the workplace. So, again, people just being fucking shitty, man. Hopefully this gets taken care of. Hopefully the people that are really abusing this get fired, no matter who they are. I don't care if they directed all the Arkham games or whatever. They need to be gone. The video game community has to be better. Just plain and simple.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at video games as a place for me, a place of inclusion and representation for people. It's a place where it's effectively escapism. You know, it allows you to experience something other than your own reality, whether that be good, bad, you know, somewhere in between. It allows you to step back from that and be or do whoever you want to be. And video games for me has inspired me to do so many incredible things. It's opened up so many awesome doors for me, and to see this weird gatekeeping happen at any level, as well as sexual harassment. I mean, this level of misconduct and the rest of it just plague the industry. It breaks my heart, you know, to see that the same game community that I was so easily able to get into from a very young age, it just pushes these people away at every chance, and it's so embedded in the culture that it's almost impossible to root out, and that's disheartening, really. You know, we've seen these types of allegations happen numbers of times, and
Just
you
this
know,
year, too
we're
many
not
times.
absolutely, and we're not here to question the validity of those. I don't think that anybody should question the validity of those at the start. Like, this stuff comes from a place of truth, whether or not one person or 100 people reported it. Like, all of it should be handled very, very seriously, because games should not bear witness to any of this. Like, it should not be part and party to any of this. And it's so disappointing to see a company, especially a big company like Rocksteady, fail so many people. I pulled up the employee count for Rocksteady. So the article reads that it was signed by 10 of the company's then 16 female employees. Their current employee count is 90 employees. So you're talking about like 10%, a little over 10% of
Yeah.
their actual worker base is representative of the female gender, and that's
And they're not
disappointing
feeling
for
they're not
diversity.
feeling comfortable in their workplace, which is just
Right.
unacceptable.
And that's another problem entirely. You know, myself, I've been given a lot of great opportunity to lead teams, to lead my business, and to champion things like diversity, because I believe when you have input from all aspects, you're going to end up with a better product no matter what, because you're considering everybody. And I wish more companies would take that to heart and do something about this, because like you said, I mean, it's the past couple of years have just been rampant, and the industry has been rocked by this. And unfortunately, I still feel like we've learned nothing. I feel like we've gone nowhere. It's going to continue to be an issue. I mean, Randy Pitchford, for fuck's sake, is still in a place of power, and he calls his employees muggles. Like, that's nowhere near comparative to the things that these types of people endure. You know, sexual harassment at the workplace. Like, but the fact that people just get away with this is absurd, and nothing is done about it by HR departments, or it's disappointing and disheartening.
One thing I do want to say real quick, just to clarify, when we say it's disappointing that this stuff comes out, we are in no means disappointed by the fact that these women came forward. Keep doing it. Put these people
Absolutely.
on blast. Put them on the spotlight. They need to be
We
gone.
support you 100%.
Absolutely. If you're just going to be a shitty person, we don't want you in the gaming community. Let's just it. So that's about all I have to
Yeah,
say on that.
you don't have a place here. You don't belong. You shouldn't belong.
No.
And to anybody that sees this happen, if you're a colleague or a coworker and you're not subjected to the same treatment that these people are, but you see this stuff happen, it is your duty to speak up and to speak out, because a lot of these people do not feel comfortable or do not have power to speak up about these things that are happening to them. We all have to work together to get rid of issues like these, and until we start looking out for each other more often, I think this just continues. And people that take advantage of others, that harass others, that belittle others, they're going to continue finding their way up the food chain, and we have to do everything we can in order to root those problems out and get rid of them. It's just it's disappointing, and I'm disgusted. That's it at the end of the day. I mean, it's disgusting that we even have to have a conversation about this after we've had conversations about this. And something's got to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to change. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the next story. I'll go ahead and take this one.
Right.
This one's an interesting one. I really don't know how to approach this because I'm almost a little dumbfounded that this is even a thing.
Right.
Like, I'm impressed by their ingenuity, but at the same time, it's also startling to see how easily the
So.
system is broken.
Mm-hmm.
So this one comes from Kotaku. Nathan Grayson writes this, and the headline reads: Streamers furious after ad company uses Twitch donations to advertise Burger King. One of the most enjoyable aspects of Twitch is that you can never entirely predict what sort of alchemical chain reaction a streamer and the audience will create together. Recently, an ad agency representing Burger King decided to cash in on this inherent unpredictability, seemingly without asking anybody. Streamers are, to put it lightly, not pleased. Yesterday evening, New York based ad agency, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Ogilvy? Sure. Tweeted out a video demonstrating the
Ogilvy.
results of a. Whatever. Whatever. Demonstrating the results of a campaign by one of its teams, David Madrid. In it, an employee donated the price of various Burger King items, never more than $5, to streamers who use text to speech programs that read out messages written by fans who give them money. They would then type in a message advertising Burger King products you could buy for that price, $5 for a Whopper, fries, and a drink, for example. In the resulting video, the agency clearly wanted to communicate how much this weirded out streamers who did not expect to see Burger King in their chat that day or any day ever. The video depicts streamers with their faces blurred and their voices altered, saying things like, "I'm so confused." A little less than halfway into the video, however, one of the streamers that they chose to ambush with its guerrilla marketing campaign got to the heart of the issue. "Listen, are you going to sponsor me or not?" they said, asked the anonymized streamer after getting advertised at. And this continues with a little bit more info on it, but the takeaway here is basically some ad agency thought it was a great idea to just spend money on these Twitch streamers channels and just advertise a bunch of product. And to me, that is one, funny because what the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and two, not okay.
No.
Like, that is
Absolutely
incredibly suspect. Like,
Absolutely.
we have all of these rules and regulations from the FCC that guideline this kind of stuff when you're sponsored, which obviously this kind of tiptoes the lines of a sponsorship. But when you're sponsored by somebody, you have to clearly advertise and state that you're being sponsored by something. So this puts streamers in a potentially dangerous place because they're not, given heads up on any of this stuff where they could potentially be liable for some of these things coming forward, as well as I don't want Burger King crashing my stream. Like, get out of
Fucking
here.
nasty, dude.
You're right. I mean, like, a better restaurant maybe we'll talk, but
Yeah.
it's a little gross because you consider that there's kids watching these streams, there's regular everyday people, and a lot of people use video games as a form of escapism, like we talked about earlier. And I don't want to jump on and obviously there's going to be ads and stuff already, but I don't want to jump on and be assaulted by Burger King
Yeah.
nonsense.
It's
You
crap.
know, because if everybody picks this up, if a bunch of other companies start doing this, then this is all you see, and you lose that fan interaction. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it's it's so shitty. Especially since they're pretty much forcing the streamer into sponsoring something that they may not be supportive of, um, and they're not getting their permission. And then it's so shitty because in the video they get around it by blurring their face and distorting their voice. This is just how much you know that they fucking knew that they couldn't do this. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's a lawsuit for using their likeness for promotion. I
mm-hmm.
mean, you know, it is a very very gray area, and to be honest, I really hope that Twitch steps up and just outright bans this type of practice altogether from the platform, because it's just not, it's not okay in any way, shape, or form. Like you are literally profiting off of somebody else's hard work and channel, all for money that is really negligible. Like you could say, yeah, okay, they're getting paid, but like
$5.
$5,
$5
come
was the
on.
largest donation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh, great! You're
it's
you're on this huge global company's marketing. You get $5. Like,
yeah,
that's, yeah, no, complete bullshit. I really hope that they get their. I hope something comes out of this, at least for the
definitely.
streamers, because
It's crazy though, because we've never seen anything like this.
no, yeah,
Like there's never been something that I can think of, at least, that has been kind of in this realm of weirdo guerrilla marketing that's incredibly suspect and potentially illegal
mm-hmm.
in some way, shape, or form. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of develops out of this, and I hope that Twitch and other streaming platforms again take a very hard stance on this, because to me, it's just straight up unacceptable.
Absolutely. My favorite thing though is the guy that said, "Are you gonna sponsor me or not?" Like, come on,
Right.
man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like if you want to sponsor me, let's have a real conversation. Like,
Yeah.
pitch me some money and
Uh,
then we'll talk, but $5 ain't gonna do it, you
it's
know.
so fucking shady, man.
It's taking advantage of a system that, you know, honestly should never have even been thought about to use in this way. And the fact that they're jumping on and parading this around social media and being like, "Hey, look what we did."
Yeah, look at us. We're so wacky.
Right, like, aren't I funny?
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're an
No.
asshole.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
Fuck
that's
you.
really the end of it. So,
But also,
well, that
let's get down to the real issue here. Burger King fucking sucks. It's nasty. They don't have one single good food on their menu. It's so bad. Not
I
just
just
bad
want to
for you.
say,
It's disgusting. Okay?
if you can go to a place and get 40 chicken nuggets for less than $5,
There's a reason why they're that cheap.
you should probably not shop at that place.
Oh, fucking nasty.
Is the short answer.
Ugh.
Like, it's the last time I went to Burger King, I think I went there because they've got the fancy drink machine that allows me to put flavors and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only reason I went there. You know, so I could get a vanilla root beer or something stupid like that. It's good.
Yeah.
It's real good. So, well, anyway, that horror fest wraps up our.
That being
news
said, Burger
stories
King,
for
if you
this
want to
week.
sponsor us,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pay me some real money,
come on.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
You know, I'm for sale to the right buyer.
Yeah, right.
So we'll go ahead and rotate into our quick news section here and hit some things that we didn't want to talk a lot on, but figured were worth mentioning. So, John, why don't we go back and forth on this one?
Yeah.
I will start, and you can take the next one from there.
Yeah.
So the first one we got here is Prince of Persia remake possibly leaked. So this one, do you remember where this got leaked from?
I actually didn't see this, so.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently Prince of Persia could potentially have a remake in the works at Ubisoft. There was a site that put something up essentially confirming it for, or I guess confirming it for later this year. Let me see if I can pull up a little info here. I guess I should have had this.
I will say already, that sounds kind of iffy with how much they already have coming out this year, but who knows? Yeah, I guess there is supposed to be another Ubisoft forward.
Prince of Persia remake briefly appeared on the website of Guatemalan retailer Max. And it was spotted by a user before it was removed. So it was removed, which kind of adds a little bit of credibility to that potential leak there. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to see something done with the Prince of Persia series, as it's been quite a while since they've done anything with it. Are you a fan of the Prince of Persia stuff?
I've never played. Well, I've only played the one on 360. It's just called Prince of Persia.
Okay, so
It's
the
like
really
cell
hyper
shaded.
stylized,
Yeah.
yeah, like cell shaded one. That one's okay.
Yeah,
It's not.
I
the
enjoyed
best.
it. It was a very early 360 game, and I enjoyed it. And
Give me
uh,
Two Swords, man. Or
I,
Forgotten Sands.
I, if any of these are being remade, I think Forgotten Sands is the shoe in for what one. I did just find a supposed video saying Prince of Persia is getting a VR game.
Yeah, that was confirmed a little while ago that there's a VR escape room experience called The Dagger of Time.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds about right. That's being worked on.
Yep,
I think it
that
was
is
confirmed a little while ago.
Dagger
So
of
they are
Time.
doing
Yep.
something with it, which then again, I mean, could lend a little credibility to.
We have also
the
talked in the
story.
past about how Ubisoft doesn't fully own Prince of Persia. Everything that
Yeah.
they make for it, they have to pay royalties for. So it always makes sense that they just go with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
But
it's a bit of a weird situation.
yeah, but Prince of Persia is a very, I mean, that's a historic thing. That's gone back since the 80s, right?
Big franchise.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time. And when was the last one? 2009? No, it'd be even further than that.
2008, I think, was
Yeah.
that cell shaded one,
Yeah, something like
which
that.
was the last one they did, which was kind of like a soft reboot for the series. It wasn't like tied into the other ones. It again, soft reboot.
Also
So
had a really
yeah,
weird ending.
be on the lookout. There might be a Prince of Persia coming to a retail store near you if those exist by the end of the year. I don't know.
Yeah. Up next, Xbox Series X's new UI was revealed. Not in any like big fashion or anything. They just showed it in a really short video and some screenshots and everything. It looks very close to what the current UI looks like on Xbox One, but they're saying more things are streamlined and that it's just supposed to run better. So, did you check it out at all?
Yeah, I did. I took a look at it, and it definitely is very reminiscent of the Xbox One architecture, which makes sense, being that there's a lot of backwards compatibility and stuff going on. I will make mention that I think you, just like myself, are in the Xbox. God, what do they call it? The test program.
The preview thing.
Preview, yeah, the Xbox preview program, and I recently got the new store experience. Did you get that?
Yeah, I did. I really like it. It's snazzy.
I'm a little back and forth on it. I will say that it is much faster.
Oh yeah,
than the old store.
There are definitely improvements they can still do to it, but it's much better than it was before. It runs much better. Maybe the categories can be mixed up a little bit, but otherwise, I mean, it's everything you want from a store. It's a lot better than the Nintendo Switch store. Let's just say that.
I think a lot of things are a lot better than the Nintendo store, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, that to me is, if that's the direction they're going in, whatever. If it looks like the current Xbox dashboard, I don't care, as long as it's smooth and it feels good. So I'm into it. Moving into the next one.
Real quick here, a few notes.
Go for it.
We talked about how it's going to be faster. The home screen itself will load more than 50% faster when you boot up the console and be almost 30% faster to load when you're returning from a game. For anyone who values every second of playing time and gets impatient waiting for games to start, that's going to be a really big deal. Yeah. According to Microsoft, the UI of the new console isn't exactly the same in terms of the visual aesthetic. It says text is more readable, elements on screen are easier to understand at a glance, including tile-shaped fonts, and there's been an updated illustration style. The company calls it familiar, but faster and more focused.
They spoke the magic words to me, honestly. Why reinvent the wheel? If it works,
just improve on what you got.
Absolutely. Moving into the next one. This one's just a fun anecdote. Fall Guys, I'm sure you've heard of it, was almost called Stumble Chums. Which
I kind of wish it would have
makes
been
me
now.
happy. Yeah, like it's fun to say Stumble Chums. Like
Stumble Chums.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I would have played it.
Yeah, that's
maybe wouldn't have been such a big hit, but whatever.
Yeah.
So go ahead and jump in the next one.
Hitman 3 is an Epic Game Store timed exclusive on PC. They also mentioned that the first Hitman will be free to play here in like a week or two on there. Yeah, that's probably going to be some roar from the PC crowd because there always is whenever Epic announces an exclusive. Luckily, I'll be playing it on Xbox, so I don't really have a say in that.
I
But
can't believe it's something we're still complaining about. Like, get over it and download the free store.
yeah,
You know,
it is what it
get
is.
some real problems, please.
Right. Take the last one.
Yeah, just silly stuff. So the last one we've got here is Deathloop, which I can't remember the developer for that
Arcane.
one, but Arcane Studios. They have that game that's like very almost
It's Prey, but with two assassins.
it's almost
going at each
roguelike
other.
in
Is
terms
it?
of like you're doing runs based and trying to like maximize on stuff, so on and so forth. And if you die, you start it all over again, or you know whatever. That one did get delayed to 2021, so
Yeah.
bit of a disappointment there. But honestly, everything's getting delayed.
This
at
is not
point.
going to be the last game to be delayed this year.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Cyberpunk to get hit again
Right.
with another delay. It's just gonna happen. I'm kind of thinking Avengers might get a delay too. I was thinking about it earlier today. Like it's getting pretty close, and it being a
2
service
weeks.
game, they could update
We're
it.
2 weeks
but
away.
The blowback on the beta's not been great.
There's been some good. It's very mixed. I'll say that.
Fair, yeah. It's not overwhelmingly positive, I guess. Is the important thing to take away on it. So
which
watch for
real
more
quick,
delays.
I know I've been saying how excited I am for that game for a very long time here. It's a live service game. That's pretty much how every live service game launches almost. Like
that's true.
It's gonna grow with time.
Right. Yeah, I think that the final experience will be the game that you can play in a year or two from now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what their original vision is. This is probably just the bare bones part of that. So
yeah.
Well, that wraps up the quick news for this week. That's all the stuff we wanted to talk a little bit about, but not a lot of it about. So to end this show, we're going to talk a little bit about the Fandome event coming up here and what our expectations are for that as our topic of the week. So if you don't know, DC Fandome is kind of like the Comic-Con, but for DC stuff that happens yearly. It's coming up here pretty soon.
Real quick, did they skip Comic-Con this year? I know Marvel did, but did DC...
There has been some virtual... Oh, did DC... I don't know, actually.
I know Marvel skipped it, but I didn't know if DC did or not. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they did or not, but it's essentially a celebration for all things DC. Like it's them talking about their properties, their stuff going on, so on and so forth. And this ties into video games because we're looking at getting Rocksteady's announcement here, as well as who's making the Court of Owls game?
WB Montreal.
Thank you. WB Montreal, so Warner Brothers. So we're going to get some video game news here as well as some other stuff, but we wanted to chat about that a little bit. So John, why don't you take that one away and let me know what you think.
All right, so yeah, we already know that WB Montreal is going to show off the Court of Owls game. Finally, did you know that they've been teasing this game for over a year on Twitter?
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, one of their employees posted a picture of them in a T-shirt that has now been linked to the Court of Owls like 2 years ago.
Really?
So they've actually been like low-key teasing this for a really long time, which is stupid. I hate it. Don't do that.
Worst marketing decision ever. I'm still going to buy the game because I love Batman and I love the Arkham series, but man, I hate it. Hopefully that comes out. We also know it's been confirmed that Rocksteady is going to talk about the Suicide Squad game, where it looks like they're hunting down the Justice League. It's a lot of weird things going on in the image that they showed of Superman, where his eyes were like all glowy and everything. So like some people were saying that he was being controlled by the Suicide Squad.
I heard some people say they thought it was Bizarro as well.
Yeah, I guess that could make sense. Yeah,
you know, all kinds of there seems to be a lot of conflicting info on this one, so that one's a little bit less clear on what the game looks like, as opposed to obviously the Court of Owls game. I guess for you, I've got a good question. How do you think that the Suicide Squad game stacks up to Avengers, because it's also rumored to be a live service video game.
I'm very
So
I'm very conflicted on it so far without seeing anything on it. All they've shown is not even a screenshot, just an image of
like a
Superman.
poster,
Yeah.
yeah, teaser poster.
But as of right now, without seeing any gameplay or anything on it, I'm very conflicted because I love Rocksteady. I think Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are some of the best games on the 360 and PS3. I absolutely love those games. Even Arkham Knight, I realize that has its issues. I love that game. I don't like Suicide Squad, though. I don't really care about them.
It's not a very alluring property.
No, it's not.
But that also, I mean, to be honest, that might be potentially the most interesting thing about it, because you think about Avengers, and one of my complaints with Avengers is the fact that, like, you don't get a lot of customization in terms of their loot system. Like, when you equip a new loot piece that you get, they're just still in whatever costume you have unlocked or costume that you bought, or so on and so forth. So you kind of lose a little bit of customizability because they're protecting that IP. So I guess they're holding it so tightly to their chest, whereas Suicide Squad, I feel like there's almost a little bit more freedom to do what you want with that story, to kind of take it to different places that maybe Marvel wouldn't be okay with somebody taking the Avengers to do.
Yeah, of course, everything's being revealed this weekend, so we'll know by the weekend. But it's just really hard to talk about it right now. I personally think, I haven't seen anything on this or anything, but I would think that this game is still quite a bit of ways. You got to figure that the Arkham Court of Owls game, that one's got to be coming this fall, right?
Yeah,
at the latest, early 2021, at the very latest. But I just really don't see a Suicide Squad game coming out anytime soon, and I think they would really. When's that new movie supposed to come out that James Gunn is directing? Is it next year?
Gosh, yeah, I think it's slated for next year. I think it was originally slated for like holiday this year, so we'll probably see it like maybe summer holiday next year.
Then yeah, I could definitely see it coming out next fall. I don't know. I hope it's good because, like I said, I love Rocksteady, but man, I just want them to make an Arkham game. I don't.
Yeah, like, don't pass the IP off to another studio that, hasn't been making good games.
Well, this is the same company. WB Montreal is the same ones that made Arkham Origins, which has its issues. It was still a good game. I got mad at the game because I was so close to 100%ing it and my file got corrupted. So I sold it off and I never touched it again. I was angry. That was one of the very few times I was legitimately pissed at a game. But I really want that game to be good. With them bringing in the Court of Owls, which is a storyline I'm not too familiar with, having not read many comics in my life, I'm very interested to see that. Just don't bring the Joker back. I love him. He's my favorite super villain of all time. Don't bring him back to be the villain
There's
again.
so many cool things you can do in that universe, aside from, Joker, Harley Quinn.
Every literal Arkham game has the Joker as the villain.
Even the Riddler at this point.
He's even dead, and he's the villain. Arkham Knight.
It's ridiculous. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what pops up. I gotta say, non-video game related, I'm excited for that Batman movie.
They got to show something on that, right?
Robert Pattinson, absolutely. I think we're gonna get a solid trailer on it. Maybe some a little deeper than that.
Yeah.
I did read a report the other day saying that they're essentially not ruling out them targeting an R rating for this, which could be really cool.
Yeah, I saw that too. I hope so. I would really. I got to figure that they're going with that after Joker did so well.
Yeah.
So hopefully that is where they're going with it.
It'll be cool to see kind of where it goes, as well as obviously seeing these video games. I get to wrap this up in a neat little bow. How much of Suicide Squad do you think we actually end up seeing? Do you think that
a teaser trailer,
we just get some concept art and some people talking on a panel? Do you think we actually see gameplay? Do you think we just get a trailer? I mean, what are your thoughts for this?
I think it's a teaser trailer and like a director, or if they've signed any like big voice actor to just talk about it for a little bit, but
just
not
some
very
very,
long.
very light kind of teasing.
I think overall it will be about 5 minutes of
5 minutes or
information
so.
we get. Yeah,
Well, they'll probably spend a lot more time on Court of Owls, I would
I
imagine.
would I would hope so. God damn.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah, no, definitely.
just
Especially, I
thinking
mean,
about
if you're
it's
going to launch
getting me
it
mad.
like with a Batman movie coming out, what, April? I think it's slated for next year. So that's not terribly far away. So, you got to figure if you're DC, you want those to kind of line up pretty close to each other. So, either way, should be an exciting weekend.
Yeah.
Good to see what comes out of it. Good to see that we have to, or we can actually finally stop guessing what the Rocksteady video game is going to be.
No kidding.
That was a nightmare of a couple of years. What's that Rocksteady game gonna be, man? I hear it's a Superman game. Not again.
Yeah, right. And then they show Superman on the Suicide Squad.
Right.
Real
Gross.
quick, I wanna just check. The Arkham Knight release date was in 2015, so yeah, it's been 5 years that we've just been guessing.
Yeah. Well, it's another studio too, so it's
Yeah.
or for the next obviously Batman game. So, fun weekend, fun times, more video games. They'll probably all be delayed anyway, so who cares?
Yeah. Right.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for us, John. What do you say? Should we wrap this thing up?
Oh, definitely. We are making very good time.
Hey, awesome. I like being on a good time schedule, especially for the people. Got to respect that time, So that's going to do it for us and episode 107 of the Pixel Street podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for being here with us. We would love to hear your reactions, hear your feedback. Join us on our social media. Come see us on Discord. Come check out our new YouTube channel. Give us pictures of your dogs. Again, please. That's all I want from you is dog pictures. And maybe I'll send some of my own. But thank you so much for being part of the community, and we hope that you tune in next week. This week has been hosted by me, Connor Kopp. You can find me on Twitter at @TheRealBirch. That's Birch like the tree without the I, so BRCH. I'm also on Twitch by the same handle, TheRealBirch. And don't forget, please, join us tomorrow for a Halo Customs community night if you happen to listen to this beforehand. And if you miss out on that one, stay tuned for the next one because
there will be more in the
definitely want it
future
to become a regular thing. So that's where you can find me. John, where can the good people of the internet find you?
On Twitter, I am at Revek Shadows. You can check out my writing on GamePer.com. I do a bunch of guides and features. I've done a couple. I've done an interview, done some reviews there. There's a little bit of everything. Go check it out. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm also going to be focusing on our YouTube going forward here, and we're all doing a little more streaming now that we're all set up on Twitch and everything. So come join the chat. Have some fun. Let's party.
Let's party indeed. That does it for us. That does it for episode 107. Good luck, good night, and have fun. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.